What if stories and legends can offer us the key to unravelling the hottest political issues of the day? What would it mean if all the answers to today's burning questions were presented in easy-to-digest narratives and myths? Join us as we examine some of the most fascinating tales, some mythological, some historical, and apply their lessons to understanding the chaos of modern politics. I'm your host, Mark Angelides. Welcome to The Rabbit Hole, Politics and Prose, a LibertyNation.com production. With red flag laws being in the news, another type of red flag story has been quietly sailing under the radar of late. And insidious though the laws to confiscate firearms from individuals without them being able to see an actual judge may be, there is perhaps more danger from the pervasive reappearance of the Red Flag Anthem. Written by Jim Connell in 1889 to the music of O Christmas Tree, or Tenenbaum, this song has taken root in the socialist movement across the world. And in fact, here's the funny thing. It's actually more mainstream today than ever before. This week in the UK, we saw the ending of Parliament, something that happens on a fairly regular basis so a new Parliament can begin. And what should we hear coming from the Labour Party benches? The Labour Party being the English equivalent of the Democrat Party. Yes, a rendition of the red flag ringing out. It's the official anthem of the British Labour Party and is sung proudly at their annual conferences and in all places that those devoted to Marxism gather. I'll play you a little bit of it. The people's flag is deepest red. It's shrouded in our martyr dead. And ere the limbs grow stiff and cold, their heart's blood dyed in every fold. So raise the scarlet standard high, beneath its shade we'll live and die. Though cowards flinch and traitors sneer, we'll keep the red flag flying here. Its words of martyrdom and blood are just as striking today with the violence we see on the political left as it has ever been, especially when taken in the context of the 20th century atrocities committed under this particular banner. But don't be mistaken in thinking that this is merely the Western liberals who are hanging on to this theme tune. Oh no. This particular song is also the official anthem of the North Korean army, sung in translation naturally. In a world where careers can be ruined for using the term the big lie because it was once historically used by a murderous fascist regime, it seems more than a little odd that singing the same anthem as the military of an actual present-day fascist regime flies under the popular press radar. This popular communist socialist tune has lived through several iterations, but the basic premise remains the same, that people shall gather under the red flag and that those who oppose it will be known as traitors. This song also has a history in the United States. It was published in the Little Red Songbook of the Radical Workers Group. Perhaps purposely, the fourth verse of this song is rarely ever sung. It goes like this. It well recalls the triumphs past. It gives the hope of peace at last. The banner bright, the symbol plain, of human right and human gain. Now, why would proud socialists, and of course communists, wish to leave that verse out? Could it be that those who seek power today do not want the public reminded of the triumphs past? Perhaps they seek to draw a line under Stalin's mass murder, the gulags, Mao's great revolution that saw tens of millions dead. It's almost as if they seek to rewrite history and hide the atrocities committed in their cause's name. It certainly would have a hard time pointing out what hope of peace at last has ever come from under its blood-red banner. Like almost all socialist tropes, the anthem has received its fair share of parody and mockery. In fact, when Tony Blair won the election in the United Kingdom in 1997, he attempted to present a somewhat less socialist facade to the world, causing his political enemies
to rewrite the red flag thusly.
The people's flag is palest pink. It's not as red as some might think. We must not let the people know what socialists thought long ago. Don't let the scarlet banner float. We want the middle classes vote. Let our old-fashioned comrades sneer. We'll stay in power for many a year.
But enough of the red flag song. What does the actual red flag mean? Does it have other connotations? And is it important for us today to know exactly what those who fly the flag stand for? During the Middle Ages, ships that were going into battle would fly a long red banner called the bowcans, which shows that they were ready to fight to the death if needed. This evolved over time into the red flag, which signified a flag of defiance. If a city or castle was under siege, instead of declaring via messengers that they were not going to give in or surrender, the defenders would raise the red flag to show that they were willing to fight to the death to defend themselves. It's thought that this was done to break the spirit of the attacking enemies, who would very often just need to begin an attack before the city or castle would surrender. By raising the flag, it stopped the leaders of the invasion from rallying the high spirits of their troops. In Paris, on July 17, 1791, the commander of the National Guard, Lafayette, raised the red flag over the Champ de Mars as a warning to the gathered rioters to disperse. Many royalist protesters were killed in the attack that followed, around 50 it's thought. But this was the beginning of the change. You see, the Jacobists, as a way of inverting the meaning of the flag, started using it to represent the blood of the martyrs. When they came to power under the Reign of Terror in 1793, the red flag became their unofficial emblem, and the big switch was made. Through many iterations, the red flag has become the symbol that united the communist and socialist causes. Even Adolf Hitler in Mein Kampf wrote that the official Nazi flag had red as its background because it, quote, expressed the social thought underlying the movement, end quote. It's the root colour of the Soviet Union, Mao Zedong's China, and a whole swath of nations and organisations that hold socialism dear. In fact, during the Red Scare of 1919-1920 in the US, many states passed laws banning the flying of red flags. However, the Supreme Court ruled that such bans were unconstitutional. We live in a strange world where apparent journalists will spend weeks trolling through old tweets, social media posts and articles in what has become known as Twitter archaeology to find a single sentence, a single word that could be spun, no matter how tenuous, into a media attack on an individual who doesn't follow the party line. Yet millions around the world are connected to the sordid, brutal and tyrannical history of the red flag, and proudly so. Yet they are not exposed for their sins. If a clearer sign were needed that the media is only fighting for one side, ignoring the bloody history of this flag, this anthem and this symbol, should be proof positive. In fact, it should, in itself, be seen as a red flag.
Thank you for listening to The Rabbit Hole, Politics and Prose, a LibertyNation.com production. Join us next episode, where we'll be talking more history, politics, legends and stories. Until next time, thanks for listening.